Hi, I'm Dennis Tynes, and welcome to Sprout Central. This is a show about community. We help people take their dreams and build a community. Last week we had a great guest on the show that talked to us about, he was the managing editor of Y'all Politics, and he talked to us not only about the publishing business, but about some of the things going on in politics today and how they're affecting our future and how they're affecting business. We've got a great show for you today. Joey, our co-host, is here as well. How's it going, Joey?
It's going great, Dennis. It's good to be here. Always a pleasure to be on the show.
So we got a great show coming up today. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know much about it. I've been kept in the dark. All I know is that I only get, like 3 minutes to hang out and chat today. We're
going to give you a little bit more time than that because I really like the part, the part where we hang out and talk on the show. That's one of my favorite parts.
It's my favorite part.
But we have a guest. We didn't want to tell people about it because we didn't want, during the filming, we didn't want big crowds out here interfering in the filming process and making noise outside during the studio. But he's the voice actor for Scooby Doo and Shaggy on the show today. Scott Ennis.
Scott Ennis, that's awesome. That's awesome. I remember when Jonah was on the show not too long ago, she talked about meeting him, and I remember thinking, that would be really awesome. So he's here today. We're going to get to hang out with him.
He's here today. We're going to get to meet him and hang out with him.
It's pretty cool.
And he's also the executive producer of a movie that has been recently filmed, and we're going to talk about that. So, look, thank you for joining Sprout Central. We really do. We want to take your dreams. We want to help you take your dreams and build a community. So call us, email us, and let us help you. We'll be right back after this. All right, so this is the most important Sprout alert yet. The Paycheck Protection Program has been funded again. Did you hear about that, Joey?
Yeah, I heard it's been funded again, and it ran out of money really quickly last time, didn't it?
It did. So if there's any business right now that needs a paycheck protection loan, it's important that you act now, that you go ahead and call the number on the screen and get someone from Sprout to help you.
So who exactly is it you think is going to be calling in for these? Who are we looking for to call into Sprout?
Okay, to qualify, that's a great question. You have to have W-2 employees. You have to have had W-2 employees last year, and it has to be a small business with W-2 employees seeking $40,000 or more. Those are the guidelines for this round.
All right, cool. And it's forgivable too, isn't it? Isn't that a big thing about it?
Well, and they've said, yes, the program could be forgivable, but be prepared to pay back. And we're going to put guidelines on sprout.fund about the forgivability. Okay, welcome back. How's it going, Joey?
It's great, man. It's going just as well as it was right before the break.
Man, I like those socks. I'm just noticing those before we started. Those are. I'm going to have to up my sock game.
They're actually
you're going to keep doing that.
Christmas socks. I was looking through the socks that I had today, and for some reason these stuck out. I thought I'd wear them. So
kind of a Christmas in July thing going on here.
Yeah.
Well, I've got guitar socks on today because our guest I was telling you about earlier.
Right.
We were trying to keep it down, but he's here now, and inside safely. And,
right.
He's a voice actor for Scooby Doo and Shaggy, right? But he also writes songs and wins like country music awards. That's what he does.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's amazing. It's funny that people in the film industry and stuff usually are multi-talented. They have a lot of different talents. I was recently watching a documentary on the Monty Python, and Eric Idle apparently is like really big in making music, which I was like, wow, that's cool.
Really?
So it's neat that there's all these people that have so much talent that do so many artistic things. So it's pretty cool. I really look forward to seeing what he has to say and hearing his story.
I'm excited to talk to Scott too. And I think it's going to do great for our ratings. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be even bigger bump than the jacket was. That jacket was a serious bump in our ratings, wasn't it?
It did. I got a letter from corporate saying it just said ratings are up. Keep wearing the jacket.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Corporate's good like that. They're real concise about the things that they say. It's always a good bump though to get a letter from them.
Yeah.
It's always great.
It's always rewarding to get that kind of encouragement from keep up the good work type of thing from corporate.
Absolutely.
So we've been working on and talking about doing the business plan, but this week we're going to kind of take a break from it and of course, anybody, if you're at home working on your business plan and you need help, you can always call Sprout Central. We'll help you for free. You can call us and ask us questions, or we can even schedule a time where you can come and use the Sprout computer and have somebody sitting by your side helping you write your business plan. So we're not forgetting that, but our guest is so big this week that we're not even going to have very much time to talk ourselves, Joey.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to get straight to the big part of the show this week and have a good long talk with our guest.
Right, which is fair. You know, I don't have any country music awards, and I haven't voiced anybody on TV, so I'd rather watch him too. So
yeah, I would rather watch him too than even watch me. But you've made some things out of the silver now. You know, you were talking about your silversmith business before, and I know you actually made some silver and poured it. So I want you to bring some of those pieces onto the show as soon as you can and let the folks at home see what you're doing. Okay?
Sure, will do. Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back after this with Scott Ennis.
Edward St. Pé with Nathan Prescott from Law Focus. Hello, Nathan.
Hey.
Law Focus, we have it every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and then again a repeat performance at 6 p.m.
Sure.
So tell us, what is Law Focus all about?
Well, Law Focus is sort of self-explanatory, and it is a show focused on the law, but an ancillary sort of arm to that is that Law Focus involves the law in you. It involves how the law affects your day-to-day life. Through the shows, we've addressed the Landlord-Tenant Act, we've addressed trademarks, copyrights, constitutionality of issues, criminal issues, and even current events that exist in the law with different types of things that come up. So anything that involves the law and affects you is fair game for Law Focus, and we're proud of that, and we try to put out new product a good bit.
Well, it's a situation that affects everyone. The law affects everybody, and we're happy to have this program. Thank you for being with us every week on Law Focus. That's Law Focus every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. on Ocean 7.
Thank you.
Dr. Timmons, tell us about your practice in downtown Ocean Springs.
Well, we've been here since 2006. We're a digital dental practice where we do digital impressions and Invisalign, same-day implant crowns, and guided implant surgery, etc.
So a person can literally come in and have the implants done in one day?
In one day. Sometimes people break a tooth off at the gum line, unfortunately, and we're able to extract that tooth and place the implant and place a crown in 1 2-hour visit.
Okay, what is the contact information? What's the most convenient way for people to reach out and make an appointment and get in contact with your dental clinic?
On Facebook, on our Facebook page, or timmonsfamilydental.com.
Thanks for being with us today on Ocean 7.
Thank you.
All right, we're back, and just like I promised, the voice of Scooby Doo and Shaggy and many more is on the set with us today, Scott Ennis. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Where's he at? Well, no. And I thought you guys had like a big star on the show.
Well, you know, around here, you're considered a superstar. You couldn't walk from the coffee shop.
You were talking, I heard you off camera talking about big star. I was like, just told my friend Tony, it came with, I said, man, they're going to have a big star here today. But gosh.
Well, to me, Scooby Doo is one of the biggest there is. I grew up watching that show.
I did too.
The antics, and I was always so excited to see who it was under that mask.
And we would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids. Yeah.
So, Scott, it's really interesting, you know, to meet you and to get to know you a little bit. But just, you know, this is a show about people seeking out and living their dreams or following their passions. You started out pretty young, interested in doing what you do right now, didn't you?
Well, you know, I've always had a lot of things going around in my brain. And, you know, when I was in school, man, the teachers used to cut deals with me, and they would say, okay, now listen, if you'll do all your homework, you study in the classroom, don't disrupt the rest of the class, we'll give you 5 minutes at the end of the period. So that was like a stage for me, right? So I was like, okay, and I was like, I mean, perfect. And then that 5 minutes, I got up there, took my little record player, sung Elvis songs in classroom, did all my impressions for the kids. They would laugh, and I fed off that. So that 5 minutes would, you know, and then they asked me to join the talent show, and I'll never forget singing in a talent show. They wanted me to sing Endless Love with this girl, and I was in love with her, and she hated me, and but they needed someone to sing that song, and since I'm a singer, they brought me out, they let me sing, and I was in seventh heaven, you know, being able to, so I used that in my life. You know, you start using little things to move you forward in life, and so people go, man, how do you get the chicks? And I say, well, I mean, I sing, but I never really get the chicks. But, you know, you do what you can. Then I got into radio because people like to hear their names on the radio. And so I was always in the in crowd because I was the celebrity, you know, not really, but they didn't know that, you know.
Well, you know, being in the movies is a big deal to a lot of people. I wonder though, Scott, when you first started doing this, were you nervous or afraid to get out in front of the people or take that step?
You know, the only time I've ever been nervous is years and years ago. My very first, I was in radio. I was early in my radio career, and they asked me to introduce Survivor. Jimmy Jameson, Survivor, Eye of the Tiger. Remember, that was my first show, and Jimmy and I would become friends down the road. But I got it in the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, and stood out in front of like 30,000 people, and I was supposed to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. And that literally, I couldn't breathe. I went, I can't breathe. You know, and I just had to walk off, and the guy just comes in and goes by, here's Survivor. And that's the only time that I can honestly say that I've actually been nervous. People turn it on, I just go, you know, and then you can't shut me up. See, I'm telling you, we'll go an hour here. You might as well, yeah.
We're going to have to extend the show today, folks.
We're an hour today.
There's too much going on here. Scott's got well, you know, one of the things that you've recently done is made a movie. You were the executive producer of a movie called Go Fishing we have the director on the show earlier, Jonah Monet.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you know, when COVID hit, a lot of people had a lot of downtime, and I was sitting on my radio show, you know, I'm a radio personality too in Baton Rouge, and I was doing nothing. I'm doing my show from the kitchen. Had a lot of downtime, and I had met Jonah previously before all the COVID stuff, and I know she had some other things in the fire she wanted to do, and we were kind of concentrating on that, and then all of a sudden she's like, well, half my crew's gone because of COVID, so we ain't got nothing to do. And I said, hey, remember that fishing show I told you I wanted to do? So we got in and started throwing things her way. We started going back and forth, writing funny lines. The next thing I know, I'm like, okay, we got a script. Why don't we start next week and start filming it? So she's on the phone getting photographers and film guys, and I'm trying to get sponsors, and we're doing all this stuff. Next thing I know, we're out in the middle of a boat filming this movie. And it just came together. And you know, when you know you have something that's just gold, when you're laughing so hard because you can't do the lines, and then it's just, I can't wait for people to see it. I'm excited about it. It's coming out late this September. No,
right, I can't wait to see it either. I've heard stories about it, and I think it's going to be a really funny movie.
I want to encourage everybody to go see Go Fishing on Facebook. That's Go Fishin, Fishin. It's on Facebook, and you can see all the clips.
See the clips on the pictures from the set and things like that.
It's going to be good. We got cast members from Duck Dynasty, Larry Stewart from Restless Heart, country supergroup Restless Heart. We have got Swamp People. We've got Byron Cherry from the Dukes of Hazzard. It's just loaded with cameos. And these people were so great. I mean, they came out and didn't charge us anything because they're in a COVID deal too. They're not doing anything.
Right.
So they're like, hey, come on out. Can you put me in the movie? Okay, write a spot for Byron. You know, I mean, that's the way it kind of went down. So we've got gold in the can. We're editing right now, and we're super pumped.
So how long does it take from the filming part, from cradle to grave, to start filming a movie like this, Go Fishing, and wrap it up?
Yeah, 4 years. We did it in 4 days. No, 4 months. So, yeah. A lot longer than what we got, you know what I mean? Right. I was telling Jonah, I said, we are the show with the movie with no budget, okay? So it got pretty funny because, you know, you're like, you know, there was one thing, you know, because we're filming, it's hot out there. Jonah goes, hey, Scott, where's the water? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I may have a half a thing of water here in the bottom of my truck. I mean, we were pulling from places just to get stuff, food, stuff. We literally filmed this on like a low budget. It's going to look like we spent $1 million.
I heard it's going to look like
We're real proud of it. And so we've
right.
got Grammy Award winning Nelson Blanchard is a member of the LaRue. He was Britney Spears' first producer. He's scoring the movie for us. We've got Larry Stewart singing in the movie and his new singles in the movie. So, you know, we're kind of like pretty proud of this one.
Well, you should be. And you've got Jonah Monet, director.
She's amazing. And
one of the most get-it-done people in show business.
I've never met anybody that's more like attentive than Jonah. She was driving all the way in from like Jackson, Mississippi, coming back, going back. She comes in one day and she forgot her fishing pole, right? She turns around and says, "What are you doing?" She says, "Oh, I'm going to drive back to Jackson, Mississippi and go get the fishing pole." I looked at her and I'm like, "Are you crazy?" So we went shopping that night at, you know, Bass Pro or whatever, and we're in there fishing for, you know, fishing, there you go, for her a fishing pole.
Fishing for a pole.
And I kept trying to tell her, I said, "Dude, just get you a little Zebco, $19. She says, she looked at her, because she plays Billy Bass in the, you know, the movie, which is pretty a prominent character who's got her stuff together. And she's like, Billy Bass would not have a Zebco little $17 rod and reel. So we walked out of Bass Pro with like a $900 rod and reel, you know, so.
A nice one.
So, but it's all, you know, it's the perception. It's, you know, it's going to show it in the finished product. It's going to be big.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely going to be there. I hope I get to go to the premiere.
Well, I got to say hello to Johnny Rock. He's probably watching this too. He's one of our Three Stooges, Tony Lawson. We literally became the Three Stooges in this thing. And if anything can go wrong in a movie, it's this movie right here. Three guys who know nothing about fishing go fishing. So
can't wait to see it. Tell me about the first time you got the call to be Scooby Doo.
Well, I'll give you the short version of this because it is a long version. So here's the short version. You know, I'm a radio personality. So I had done a parody song to the country group. Alabama had a song called Shaggin' on the Boulevard.
Right.
And I went in and rewrote it to, and we'll be dancing Shaggy on the Boulevard. And I played that on my radio show and it became a little local hit. And a guy kept calling me and he says, "You need to call Hanna-Barbera and play that for him." And I said, "Well, you know, I'm good friends with Don Messick, who does the voice of Scooby Doo. Maybe I'll do that." So after about 30 days, I finally picked up the phone and called Hanna-Barbera. Played it over the phone. Bodie Chandler was the music director, and he goes, "Wow, do they know you do those voices out here?" I said, "Here comes the lawsuit." "No." He goes, "Well, you do know that Don is ill, right?" And I went, "No, I didn't know that." And they're like, "Yeah, they're casting for a new Scooby Doo right now for Scooby Doo on Zombie Island. You should audition." So next thing I know, I have the casting director, Colette Sunderman, calling me, and they put me through this big, long 2-week period, okay, about twice a week, and I'm reading these lines, and finally I beat out Dave Coulier from Full House. And in fact, he writes the foreword in my new book. And
he does some great voices.
He's great, you know, he's great. And Uncle Joey on Full House, you know, cut it out. So anyway, I beat him out, I got the part, and I find myself in LA. Voicing a movie, not only Scooby-Doo, my iconic, as a kid, I dreamed of becoming the voice of Scooby-Doo, but I'm sitting there with Mark Hamill from Luke Skywalker, Adrienne Barbeau, Frank Welker, who's been the voice of Freddy for years, and all these people in this iconic Hanna-Barbera studios on Cahuenga Boulevard, and I'm stuck right in the middle of it. And we went to break and we had lunch, and I'm like walking through the halls. We were the last filming project before they moved out of there and went to the Cartoon Network studios, right? So I'm going through the halls and the lights are flickering and Joe Barbera is sitting at the end of the hallway in his office, just like this. And I said, "Mr. Barbera?" And he says, "Oh, our new Scooby-Doo, come on in and sit down." So I'm sitting there and I've gotten to this entrenched in this conversation with Joe Barbera, who represents some of the biggest cartoon characters in the world. And they finally had to go, "Scott, we're filming. You want to come?" You know, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll." So those are moments that you can't get back, you know, that you just love.
You can't get that back. I mean, growing up watching those shows and being that young person dreaming of doing that voice and then sitting in the office with Joe Barbera, you must have really felt like you made it.
Well, you do, because, I mean, and you have really, because there's so many other people that audition for that part and you're the lucky one, you know? So it's very humble, very, 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 you know, I believe that the man upstairs is you know, made all that happen. So that stuff just don't happen by accident.
Amen to that. We can plan all we want, write your business plan, but you always have to be prepared for the path that's put in front of you. I never thought I was going to be on a television show, sitting in front of a television camera. That never occurred to me as something that would happen in my life, but here I am.
And then here you are,
Right.
you know. But no, it's been, I'll tell you what, it's, you know, life has been really good to me. I've been blessed. I do, you know, I've now gone on to voice over 25 of the Hanna-Barbera characters. You got Yogi Bear, and I live in Jellystone. All right, Yogi, and you know, here comes Mr. Ranger, and then there's Heavens to Murgatroyd. It's just Snagglepuss.
Snagglepuss.
What's going on? And then you've got, I did Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble for me. Yampa Dampa Doo, this is Fred Flintstone, Mr. Barney Rubble. All right, Fred. Tonight, Betty and you are going to go bowling. And Scrappy Dappy Doo. I did Scrappy in the Big Live motion picture.
Right, yeah.
And then, of course, you know,
Saw that.
Scooby Doo, where are you? Oh, boy, Scooby Dooby Doo. So, yeah, there's just been a lot of them, you know, that I've, Astro, that's right, George, oh boy, you know, Astro's on the Retsons, you know, and then there's Elroy, and Elroy's on the Jetsons, and he'll always be 7 years old because he's a cartoon character, you know, and ain't that right, Astro? That's right. Stop that, Astro, you're slobbering all over me. You know.
So first it was one shot at Scooby Doo, and then the door that opened a whole door to a lot of different opportunities.
The whole Hanna-Barbera door, they all just flooded out, you know.
Wow.
And so, and you know, they call me to, you know, I'm still doing a lot of the work. You know, they'll call me when they need that classic sound, that classic Hanna-Barbera sound. So I get the call. Can you do this? Can you do this? Did the Super Bowl commercial a couple of years ago for Walmart. I just did the new talking Build-A-Bear for the new movie Scoob that came out. There's just a lot of it to go around, a lot of products. Scooby has been around, celebrated 50 years, and this last September, so it'll be 51 coming up this year, and it's just still a lot of it to be done, you know. I'm just excited about it still.
Excited about the future. That's what we want.
Right.
We want to help people get excited about the future. One thing I'm excited about is what's going on down in this magic bag.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask. So I know you're
here.
into socks, right? So I brought you some socks. Here, Scooby Doo socks.
Oh, wow.
Yep, so now you are in. Now, I expect to see those on the next show.
You will definitely see those.
I did. And
I think I somehow got into a sock competition with the co-host who wore some pretty cool socks. Joey wore some
Well,
great
let me
socks
tell you
today.
what he's not getting that you're getting here. Let me, hold on now.
That's nice.
I got you your
Thank
own Scooby Doo coffee cup. Check this out.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be careful with that.
Yeah, that will break. I brought you some other Scooby-Doo stuff, too. I got
Thank you. Wow.
Scoob from the new movie that came out, the little pop figurine.
Right.
Brought you some Scooby-Doo stickers, okay. One of my movies from the 2002 where I did Scrappy-Doo in that. Okay, there's that. Oh, we all love these growing up. The Pez, remember the Pez?
Oh, yeah, the Pez dispenser.
I got a Pez, a Scooby-Doo Pez. You're not going to be able to see that, but yeah,
collector's
Pez. I brought you a little stuffed Scooby to put on your desk.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters.
And I brought you some glasses, Scooby-Doo glasses. There you go.
Those are
pretty
great.
cool. And some other stuff. There's just a lot of little things in here. And check this out. Show everybody that. There's your Scooby shirt. So,
Ruh-roh.
look at that. Hashtag Ruh-roh. So, there's a plethora of Scooby-Doo stuff. So.
Scott, I never expected all this wonderful
I'm going to take them when I leave. But
Scooby-Doo
no,
memorabilia.
I'm just joking.
You know, I was talking to the director of the show, and one of the things we're talking about is to put out a positive message of unity in our community. And she told me you publish a magazine.
I got a magazine called Hug, Hope, Unity, and God. I did that just because I've always wanted to do one. So, you know, I set a bucket list out of things that I want to achieve in my life. I was fortunate enough to, when I was a kid, I wanted to write a song for Kenny Rogers. I loved Kenny Rogers. Okay, I loved all of his music, you know, The Gambler and all that. I wanted to win a CMA award and an ACM award because I used to watch the CMAs with my dad, and they'd hand them big trophies, and I'd go, oh, I'm going to win one of those one day. And then to become the voice of Scooby-Doo, because that's just, I was in all that. So back in '97, within about a 2-week period, I'd written a song for Kenny Rogers, Handprints on the Wall, for my son that he recorded. I won the CMA Award for Air Personality of the Year, and I'd become the voice of Scooby-Doo the night before officially my first movie went on sale. So, You know, I tell kids, and I go to schools, that you can be anything that you want to be in your life. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't be that person, because chances are that person is not even content with themselves. Here's the deal. Dreams are nothing more than reality waiting to happen. Okay, so you can be president of the United States if you want to be, but there's going to be a lot of obstacles in your life. It's just going to happen. It's part of life. And it's how you navigate through those obstacles to get to the other side, okay? And my mother used to tell me that life's going to throw you a lot of lemons, so make lemonade. And that's what I tell kids. Be what you want to be, okay? We're all wannabes. And we just got to put our heads to the grindstone and do what you want to do.
Absolutely right. Be what you want to be, and understand that there are going to be obstacles. The path is never easy, and the path that you think you're on may not be the path that you end up going down. But if you just pursue your dreams, I think when we pursue our dreams, we find happiness, and that's kind of why I think we're here. We're meant to be happy. I
do too. And you know, I'll tell you something else that I've been practicing too. Stay off of Facebook. Stay away from negativity. People who are negative will always bring you down. And I can attest to that because I've been a part of it. I've done it. You find yourself sometimes going into a bad place when you read too much negativity. And right now, the world is full of positive things. You're only going to see the negative because the news media and people like to show you that because they think that's what sells. I always say, find the happy in your day. My wife is so good about telling me that every day. I'll come home going, oh, I'm hurting, and she just looks at me, and I know she's hurting too, but I'll go, well, how do you feel, honey? And she goes, I feel great. It's going to be a wonderful day. You know, so it's how you set your mindset to start off with is how your day is going to end up.
Exactly right. So, and I've read a lot of things about don't wake up and get on social media the first thing in the morning. Take some time. Meditate, pray.
I give it 30 seconds.
I check my stock portfolio first thing every morning.
Yeah, are you up?
But after that, I'm in meditation and prayer mode for a little while and just try to find something to be grateful for the day.
And sometimes meditating, you know, and saying a prayer. I'm not afraid to say this. You know, sometimes I get so going that I hyperventilate. The other night I got up, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It was raining outside. I was kind of hyperventilating. I have so much going on in my head, and I just sat there and I just said a prayer. And man, I'm telling you, it's just amazing how sometimes you just can start breathing again,
right? You know,
but I always say that find the happy, put a smile on your face. You're not completely dressed in the morning until you put on a smile. So Buckskin Bill used to say that from the old 50s TV shows, and it stuck with me, and it's so true.
That is true. We're going to run out of time here.
Absolutely. So I'll be back next week. No.
As the host.
That's
You're going to have a new host next week.
Oh, that's great.
But I want you to come back once the movie's released and let's talk about it. You know,
we'll
talk about
clips.
When the premiere is, show the clips, and I can't wait to see the movie. Also, I want to talk about this One Scott Shop. I love the name of that website, One Scott Shop.
My wife came up with that because I said, I'm trying to come up with a name for something that would my whole body of work. And I said, kind of like a one-stop shop. And she goes, how about a One Scott Shop? That makes sense. So here's what you do. If you go to onescottshop.com, in fact, they're probably putting it up. There it is. It's got everything I got. My paintings, my products. I sign stuff for kids. You can get a voice message now for your kids' birthday parties or whatever. We do all those. It's just a housing unit for me to showcase and for people to get one-of-a-kind stuff that if you're a true Scooby Doo fan, you're going to love this.
So if they're a true Scooby Doo fan or they're a Scott Innes fan and they want to connect with you, One Scott Shop, you get the.
I got it all on. It comes right to me too. Everything you send comes right to me. So it's not going to a third party. It's coming to me.
That's fantastic. I'm going to go on there. I'm going to check it out, and I'm sure I'm going to order something.
And you get a lot of the same stuff that was in this bag right here. So and a lot more. It's loaded. So, thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, me too. Well, I had lots of fun. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Scott, man, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come here and be here. Definitely, we're going to have you on the show again next week. And look, don't miss the show next week. We're going to go on a different path. We're going to start talking about how to make a living as an artist. And we're going to visit with some artists who are making a living doing that. Next week's guest, you don't want to miss the show. Julia Reyes is going to be here. She makes a great living as an artist, and she's going to have a lot of tips for you on how to do things like have your own shows and sell your products and things like that. So join us next week on Sprout Central.